it's Dr. Kimberly. I am here today to talk to you about foods and drinks and what's good for your teeth and what's bad for your teeth. Obviously, I think most of this is pretty self-explanatory, but just from starting from the beginning, obviously babies are either going to be on formula or breast milk. Both of those are full of sugar. It has the nutrients and stuff that obviously the babies need to thrive and to do well, but you just need to be really aware of the sugar content in those once they get to be a certain age. Once the teeth start coming in, that's when we ideally start to tell you to either get a little finger toothbrush or a normal toothbrush and really brush the fronts and the backs of those teeth. That's when we really start to see problems, is when you're not brushing their teeth and they go to bed with that bottle and it just sits on their back of their teeth. The cavities will literally start on the backs of those teeth and just rot straight through. So with the younger kids that aren't on normal food and drink yet, just be very aware of that and make sure you're really brushing their teeth good at night. If they're breastfeeding on demand throughout the night, I would keep a washcloth, a warm washcloth somewhere so that you can really wipe those teeth down at night so that sugar's just not sitting on them so that it doesn't do the damage. Once you get to a little bit older and they're on a normal diet, I have 3 kids, so the realistic part of it is that you obviously are not going to give your kids celery, carrots, fruit, cheese all the time. They're going to have access to the juice boxes and stuff like that. I think my big thing with my children is just to try to keep it to a minimum. You don't want them sipping on those juices and sodas and Gatorades all day long. You want to make sure they're flushing with water. So if you want to give them milk or juice, do it during breakfast, lunch, and dinner instead of throughout the day in their sippy cup or their water bottle. I have this, I'm going to try to show it to you, just kind of back up here a little bit. We have this hanging up at the office. This just kind of gives you an idea of exactly how much sugar is in the drinks that the kids are getting. Like even a cup of orange juice, that's the sugar that's in these drinks. So even though you might think that apple juice and orange juice is healthy, it still has a lot of sugar in it. So they don't need to be sipping on this all day long. The other thing that I always tell parents to kind of be cautious of, the goldfish, the granola bars, the gummy snacks, all of those things that our kids just really love. I always say just use kind of your tongue test. Like if you were to take your tongue and wipe it into the grooves of your teeth and you have that food that gets stuck in there, kids do that too. A lot of times the children will not take the time to clean that stuff out of their teeth. It just sticks there and it sits and sits and sits until one of us goes behind it and tries to brush their teeth and get it out. So that's why we say to try to avoid those really sticky things that get stuck down in the grooves of their teeth, to avoid that. So, in a perfect world, vegetables, fruit, hard cheeses, stuff like that are going to be the perfect thing for you guys to eat. In a realistic world, they're going to have access to those other things. It's just a matter of trying to minimize when they get it and making sure that you're brushing their teeth when they do. The other thing is flossing. So if they get the gummy vitamins and stuff like that, ideally I would switch them to a non-gummy type of material. But if you can't, and that's the only ones they will eat, make sure you're flossing as well, because that sticky stuff just gets jammed down in between their teeth. And if you don't floss, it sits there. And then that's when you start seeing those cavities in between. So overall, be really careful with the juice and the soda and the Gatorade intake. Water is obviously ideal in between meals. Sticking to a healthier diet is important for all of us. Ideally a non-gummy vitamin if they're taking vitamins. And then, like I said, just minimizing the really carb heavy foods as snacking materials. Like don't put cereal in a little snack cup for a toddler and then putting in their mouth unless you have to. And if you're going to, be very aware of it and cautious of it and brush their teeth. If you guys have any questions, feel free to call us. The number here is 843-284-6497. Hope you guys have a great day.